good afternoon and a very warm welcome to what is sure to be a very special Harcourts and Rata and Co. Harcourts, Rata and Co. auction here, number 1 Severn Street in EPPING. My name is Robert Ozzimo. I proudly represent the company of Harcourts, Rata and Co. And I'm joined here today by some of my award-winning colleagues in blue. You'll notice them throughout the crowd here today, the number 1 agents in EPPING. If you do require their advice, please feel free to approach either Joel, Stephen, Diana, Andrew, Maria, and of course, I think Maria was around there, she is, and of course, Emilia, Faba, Michael Cetrola, who no doubt you've had the great opportunity of becoming acquainted with throughout the marketing campaign. Boys, let me share with you the following announcements, which in place help you bid and buy with absolute confidence here today. The auction will be conducted in accordance with the rules and any additional conditions that remain available for inspection before the start of the auction. The auction rules prohibit an auctioneer from accepting bids or offers for a property after the property has been knocked down to the successful bidder. The vendors have a reserve price as the auctioneer. I'll indicate bidders on request. The law prohibits false bids, prohibits major disruptions by bidders, and prohibits bidders attempting to prevent others from bidding, and provides for fines for such conduct. The rules permit for vendor bids. The words I'll use during the auction to indicate that I'm making a bid on behalf of the vendor are vendor bid, and by law only I, as the auctioneer, can make a vendor bid. The contract of sale has been on display prior to today's auction. We call for a 10% deposit upon the fall of the hammer and the signing of that contract to take place here today, with the balance to be paid at settlement in a flexible 30 to 90 days time, at which time the vendor will provide the lucky buyer with vacant possession of the property. All in all, quite a straightforward contract. Everything is in here. Everything is quite clear. Buyers, with my highest recommendation, what we offer for your consideration and competition here today, a great family home here in a great family location. Central EPPING means that we have access to absolutely everything that we need to provide a great lifestyle, but more importantly for you and your family here today, it means that we have access to create security through capital growth. And what creates that capital growth is the infrastructure that surrounds us. Easy access to schooling, parkland, shopping, transport, all within easy reach of where we find ourselves standing in this central EPPING location. The property itself, immediately comfortable, immediately unique, very hard to find, impossible to replace, very comfortable as it is, but also plenty of scope for you and your family to add your own touches and improvements on throughout the years and truly make this your very own. One thing that I can say about this market in 2025 is that it is on the rise. Never mind the weather, the market is hot. We've seen some phenomenal growth so far in 2025, and that is only set to continue with the prospect of interest rates falling even lower. So the question I beg of you today is, do you act decisively now and earn that capital growth for your family, or do you wait and pay it down the track? It could not be a much easier decision to get the sold sticker on the board here today. So if you'd like to take advantage of the opportunity, if you'd like to be the one to put the sticker up when all is said and done, right now, buyers, is your time to reserve that right. Where can I see a fair and reasonable starting bid for number 1 Severn? Who'd like to start us off? I don't mind the call, buyers. I'm in your hands. Start me where you like. Where do we go? My instructions are clear. We're here to sell today. If your instructions are to buy, if your goal is to buy, at $590, and we're up and running now, $590. Welcome, best of luck here today. At $590,000, fairly been offered. Always takes a brave soul to put their hand up first. At $590 now. At $590,000, fairly been offered at $90 now the bid. At $590,000, bids here. At $620,000 on the phone with Diana at $20 now. At $620,000, perhaps round me off to $50. At $620, I have at $30. I'll move along in 10s and the same courtesy at 10 if they like. At $630,000, the bid's at $30, make it $40. At $50, even better, at $650,000. At $650,000, don't let it scare you off. It's a big bid. You can make one too. At $60 got now. At $660,000. At $660,000, 70 can I suggest, or perhaps give me another big bid at $70 now. At $670,000. At $670,000, 80 the quick retort at $80. At $680,000 the bid now. $680 the bid. At $690, welcome and best of luck again to you here today. At $690,000 and 700 beckons now. At $690,000, bids there. Can I say 700 might be the mental barrier? At $690,000, fairly been offered, fresh bidding, got to test their resolve. At $690 the bid, once at $690 and 700, and welcome back at 7. At $700,000, at $700,000 and the bid's there, $700,000, one bid not enough at 700. I'm taking 10, can I say 10? At 710 now, at 710,000. I'll take the 5 if you bid twice. At 710,000, back there at 710. At 710,000, I'll be absolutely sure. At 710 the bid. At 710,000, fairly been offered now at 710. At 710, 20, sir. I'm taking 10, sir. At 710,000, bids here. And I'll tell you what, the keys are here too, because we're on the market. We sell here today at 710,000. Make absolutely no mistake about it. We sell here today at 20. Welcome, man. Best of luck. At 720,000. At 720 the bid. You had those keys just for a moment. You can win them back in 30 now, and the keys will stay with you. At 730,000. At 730,000. Bid here now at 30. At 730,000. Fairly been offered now. 730 the bid. We're on the market. We sell. If you're waiting for me to go inside, if you're waiting for me to seek instructions and a halftime break, there will be no break here today. I'm out here with you till we sell. At 730,000. The bid's there, the keys are there. At 35 now, at 735, and the same courtesy at 5 if you like. I dare say big bid's what you need in response to a small one. No. At 735,000, the bid's at 735. At 735,000, we're on the market. We sell in 40 now, and welcome back at 40. At 740,000, keys are over there, so if you want them, you got to bid me now. At 740,000, fairly been offered at 40 now. We're on the market. We sell. We play for keeps. There's no second chances here today. At 742 now and 45, and welcome at 745. At 745 the bid. At 745,000 bid back there. 50 beckons now. At 745,000 I have. At 745 bids there. Keys are there. At 50 got. At 750,000. Can I suggest 60 in the rise perhaps? Show the competition you mean business here today. At 750 the bid's there. At 750,000. 60 at 60 now. No, great bid at that. At 760,000. It's a big bid, but you can make one too at 760,000. A statement bid, big bids buy property at 760,000. The bid's there, the keys are there. We sell here today at $760,000. The bid at 62. At 762 the bid. At 762. At 762,000, it's only a little bit, an easy hurdle to overcome. At 762,000, and we're back there now at 762. At 762,000, what do you say? You're still with me? At 763. At 763,000, got the competition down to $1,000 bids. We're done over here at 763. Are we done over here, ma'am? At 763, definitely done. Thank you for your bidding here today. At 765 now. At 765, sir on the phone. Do I have your best? At 765. I don't have your best? I'm done. Fair enough. At 765. I'm an eternal optimist, sir. At 765. At 765,000 bid there. At 765 the bid. It's against you. We're on the market. We're playing for keeps here today. At $765,000 the bid. First call at 765. All done.
Yeah, one more.
At one more. 766. At 7. What can I say? 770. 760. Can't blame me for trying. At 766,000. At 766,000, we're back there now. At 766, we're on the market. We sell. You've been with me almost from the very start. They told me one more. Let's test that theory. Let's test their resolve. 766. Take me to 70, perhaps. A big bid might get it for you now. At 766. What do you say? At 766, the bid. Do I have your absolute best here today? 766 at 67. At 767 now. At 767. At 767,000. Fairly been offered. Bid back there now. I know you told me one more, but we're right at the point here now, and this is the moment you have to dig deep if you want to buy. So 767, the bid's there. Can I suggest 70? At 767 now. Once at 767, are we done? We're definitely done, man. Twice. At 767, done, finished, third, final call, 767, all done, all finished, all silent and out at 767. What do you say, sir, ma'am? Do I have your absolute best here today? Yeah. Thank you very much for your spirited bidding here today. I hope we get to enjoy success together next time we meet at 767,000. They all tell me they're out at 767 for the first call at 767,000. Done! Twice at 767,000. Done, finished, third, final call, $767,000 the bid. All done, all all finished, all silent and out. If you've come to buy, bid me now or forever hold your peace. We're on the market, we sell, definitely done, 767,000. We're selling, 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 sold. Congratulations and well bid. Please join me congratulating our purchasers and our vendors here today. You've just witnessed another successful Harcourts, Rata & Co auction. Have a great weekend. See you again soon. Thank you. That last